bird of Hermes is my name, eating my wings to keep myself tame. Hello YouTube, I'm Darkest101 and welcome to the, count them, 4th anniversary review of Darkest101 reviews. Yep, 4 years ago today I released my first review of Sly Raccoon, or Sly Cooper everywhere else, because it's only Sly Raccoon and a pal, doesn't matter. It's taken me 4 years to get to this point, but we're finally around to it. Welcome to Hellsing Ultimate Episode 10. Hellsing Ultimate Episode 10. God, I did not think it would take me this damn long to get here. But we've got around to it at last. The final episode of Hellsing Ultimate. The end of our Hellsing reviews, at least for now. We've gone from the beginning where Ceres Victoria was dragged kicking and screaming into the world of Hellsing, to Alucard boarding a Royal Navy ship overrun with Nazi vampires, to Ceres becoming a true vampire at last. Here we are, at the last though. Let's get on with it then. The finale of Hellsing Ultimate. One way or another, this ends tonight. This episode is the best of everything Hellsing has to offer. It has the best characterization, the best performances, the best fight scenes, the best visuals, the best music, and this really is the best of the Hellsing story. Heck, it even has the best humour of their series. You know those really awkward, out-of-nowhere moments that were ridiculously over the top and completely out of place in the seriousness of Hellsing? Yeah, in this episode, they're actually used to actual comedic effect, and I don't mean, oh, how charmingly amusing. I actually chuckled when I saw some of these moments. And how does the story of Hellsing Ultimate end, I hear you ask? Alucard is still proceeding to mock Walter in his young girl form, and Ceres and Integra storm the Deus Ex Machina. Their progress is impeded slightly by the captain, who fights Ceres as Integra goes on to meet with the Manger, who in turn is speaking with the Doctor. And it's here we get a look into the Manger's mindset as to why he waged a war on Alucard of all people. Because despite everything, despite the fact that he commanded an army of Nazi vampires numbering 1,000 in strength, despite the terrible, awful acts of genocide and murder and bloodshed he has committed, the Major is in fact human. Now I just feel unclean. Ceres and the Captain's fight takes them deeper into the bowels of the Deus Ex Machina as Integra meets the Major alone in his command center, and Alucard begins to drink the collective life's blood of the dead and dying that is currently drowning the streets of London. And that's just my life on a Saturday, out with steam, on a fucking bender. Ceres ends up getting her ass kicked around a little in a pile of Nazi gold until Bernadotte, whose soul remains inside Ceres as a familiar, tells her to get the fuck up, and she does so, stabbing the captain in the heart with a silver tooth. Oh, did I forget to mention the captain is a fucking werewolf? Doesn't add anything to his character, and it's really not used to its full effect. I feel like if they'd made that a little bit more obvious earlier on, it would have been more, if it would have been better if they'd done something more with it, but it's fine. It's fine, I guess. The Major and Integra look on, however, as Alucard drains London of blood, and Walter's now desperate attempts to kill him. Unbeknownst to Hellsing, however, Schrödinger decapitates himself, his body, head and blood lost in a maelstrom of blood of London. As was the Major's plan, as Schrödinger's nature means that as long as he is capable of recognizing himself, he is everywhere and nowhere. But as he is now part of Alucard's collective being, he is lost in the tempest of souls Alucard is now comprised of. Thus, Alucard himself fades from reality. And this is where I have to point something out. The Major has just fucking won. Think about it. London is burnt to a crisp, Hellsing is in ruins, and Alucard is gone. No matter what happens to the Major now, nothing is going to take away from the fact that the Hellsing organization lost this fight. One of the most evil men in anime gets to live to see his end goal achieved. Saracen arrives, rips out one of the airship's cannons, and uses it to shoot the Major. Oh, and remember what I said about the Major being human? Might have told a teensy weensy bit of a lie there, because it's actually turned out he's a bit of a World War II fucking cyborg, apparently. The Major explains his motives for killing Alucard to Integra, and they have a Mexican standoff for a few moments. And then, finally, Integra kills the fat little prick. Instead of the Major's death being satisfying, however, it's anything but. Because like I said, the Major has already achieved his objectives, and not only that, he goes to his grave happy. Not just because he's won, he knows he's won and nothing can take that away from him, but he also goes to his grave knowing he fucking hit something. No, he doesn't kill Integra, but he actually managed to hit something, and that's the last thought that goes through his head, and it's a joyful one. He doesn't live to see the consequences of his actions, he doesn't live to see punishment for what he's done, he dies happy. Boy, that's a pain in the dick. Walter has also apparently boarded the airship, his body collapsing at the seams, and confronts the Doctor, ensuring that the scientist behind the artificial vampires doesn't escape. It's here we finally see where Millennium was able to create their vampire army from. The remains of Mina Harker. If you don't recognise the name of Mina Harker, that's probably because Mina Harker was a character in the actual Dracula novel, and the fact that Hellsing continues to give these little nods to the works of Bram Stoker really just ties the whole series up with a nice little bow, and the fact that they have the remains of Mina Harker could have been used as like an interesting setup for a sequel series to Hellsing. Too bad Walter burns that to a crisp. Walter then expires, and Saracen and Integra escape the airship, returning to the Hellsing family home. We then get a nice little time skip to 30 years later, where we see the fates of our main heroes. Ceres is now Integra's primary guardian, Integra spent her days training and terrifying the new members of the Round Table, and the Hellsing organization is preparing to become a fully government-run organization. And what of Alucard? You think something as silly as a Nazi catboy is going to keep Alucard down? The final scene of Hellsing shows Alucard returning home, to be greeted with a drop of his master's blood as nourishment, just like he did so many years ago when he first met Integra. And that was Hellsing Ultimate Episode 10. What do I have to say? Like I said, it's the best episode of Hellsing by far. It's the most thought-provoking, evoked the most emotional reactions from me, had some astoundingly beautiful imagery, amazing music, continues to tie the series into the lore of the original Dracula novel. It just ticks a whole bunch of the right boxes. I mean, there are still a few issues here and there. For one, the episode does tend to drag a little at certain points, and I wish they'd used the whole Mina Harker thing a little better. I'd have also liked to see more of a fight going on between young Walter and girl Alucard, as the last episode seemed to be primarily building up to the idea. Other than that though, I think we can all see that I really fucking like this episode. And in all honesty, I don't see the point in beating around the bush any longer. So let's just get straight to it and give Hellsing Ultimate Episode 10 a dart rating of 90.
The show is over, Mina. The curtain's falling, we've taken our bows. It's high time we make our exit.
Not the end of the review, however. I mean, I've talked about each episode, but what about Hellsing as an overall package? Hellsing Ultimate as a general anime is an interesting beast to be certain. It's definitely full of B horror movie ideas, but tries to combine gothic horror with Hollywood blockbuster. In some regards it succeeds, but in others it doesn't. That might have something to do with the fact that the series doesn't really set in mind certain relationships, like who the central character is meant to be. I mean, I get we have a very big cast of characters, but who are we supposed to really attach ourselves to? Ceres Victoria? She's barely allowed to speak pretty much and is subject to so many tropes of Japanese anime it's not even funny. Is it Alucard? We do spend most of our time with him, but he doesn't work as a central character because we don't feel any concern for him. They try and make us feel scared for his life, but it doesn't work because by that point, we've already seen he's always got a trick up his sleeve. That just leaves Integra, and I wish we could see her as the central character, but she's not. She's always shoved to the side by Alucard, Ceres, and even Walter. I get the feeling that this is supposed to be her story, but it's hijacked and manipulated by so many other influences. And it doesn't work with the three of them as a central trio because there's a real lack of balance with the screen time they're given in terms of the story. Like, sometimes we'll be focused primarily on Alucard, then we'll shift to Ceres, then we'll shift to Integra, but it's all random and it's all unbalanced and they don't give the same amount of screen time to each character, and it all just makes a mess of it. They're not individual central characters and they don't work as a central group of central characters, so as a result the story kind of suffers. The action is great however, no matter what, though it's oft amplified with the right music put to it, which isn't often in the first 5 episodes but becomes more commonplace in the latter 5. The animation style is gorgeous, there's no arguing that, which makes the fight scenes look even more amazing. Some voice acting performances are a little off sometimes, like Ceres, but the amazing work of the others like Alucard are enough to offset that. Hellsing Ultimate series is probably a little bit shorter than most anime series like it, but given the length of each of the episodes, I like to think of it as a series of 10 short movies, and those short movies do have a varying degree of content in them. I do however believe that Hellsing is an anime series that is worth watching at any time of the year, but it's more appropriate around Halloween. And all of that culminates into what I think of Hellsing as a whole, into what its final dark rating is. I honestly feel it's fair to give Hellsing Ultimate, as an overall series, a dark rating of 66.
We are the evening's entertainment, and I just wanted to do something with my time on the stage worthy of applause.
Because when it's amazing, it's great, and when it sucks, it just sucks. So, I am going to take a little bit of time off to enjoy the rest of the holidays, and yeah, I'm just going to relax for a little while. So, I hope you enjoyed this, our 4th year anniversary review. If you have a suggestion for a future review, please drop by in the comment section below. And as always, I've been Darkest101. You have been watching Darkest101 reviews for 4 years now. Thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays.